Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on this channel, and today we're going to be looking into 4 EV related companies that are reporting earnings this week. So today we have Lucid, then tomorrow we have Fisker, EVGO and Rivian. So today Lucid, let's see how they have been doing the past few weeks and months. So we all remember that big squeeze in January where it squeezed up 43%. Ever since, it's been terrible, bad earnings in February, and we did drop all the way down to $7. So for the earnings, what we're seeing already on the moving average side is that we are very close to the 50-day moving average. It's been kind of a resistance the past few weeks. Um, Looking at a trend, we do see a kind of interesting trend over the past weeks, this line, and it's kind of forming a wedge. So the next earnings of today will definitely trigger a move either up or down for Lucid. Upside potential here, we could definitely be seeing a level here around the $8. It's been kind of a resistance line for the past few weeks. Could we break that? I could definitely see a gap close until around $9 to $10. So upside, it does look kind of nice. The downside, however, probably a small resistance at the 6 or 650 or the 6. So how to play this earnings? Going into the options. So the 850, it's still kind of expensive. More into the money options like the 7 is all right for around 95 cents, 98 cents. On the downside, we saw a potential downside of probably 656. You could attempt for the 7 though. Yeah, it does need to come down quite substantially here. So option play, it's all right. Probably not the best odds. On the upward side, definitely more potential downside. A drop of around 20% is however possible, especially looking at the last earnings, which triggered a 12% drop. Yeah, it's definitely within that wedge, definitely looking for um, a big move either direction. The next, going into Fisker, they've had quite the volatile days. We do see the past few days move up from 4 to 660, back down to 5, and then back up to 620. So it's already preparing for some volatile earnings. We do see some resistance line here at the 200-day moving average, which rejected a few times in January. We did see a small gap, it almost closed. Looking to the weekly, we do see that the 20-week moving average does look like some sort of resistance line here. Um, so for this earnings, yeah, it's all kind of being priced in. I do think that on the downside here, um, if it's going to be bad earnings, probably we could go all the way back to at least a 5 beat. We've already moved up a lot. Might see as a trigger all the way to the 7 area. If we would break that, then there's a nice area here at around 840, 850 that could serve as a resistance. So a beat would definitely see us to the 740s and potentially the 8s. Looking at the option chain for Fisker and that sense for this week, yeah, quite pricey. 22, 25 cents for the 750. Even the 8s are 17, 18 cents. So you'd be looking more into the money around the 6, the 550s. Also, you're going to pay a lot of premium also on the downside. The 6 or even the 550 is already 35 cents. So Fisker, same as Lucid, quite pricey options. Also, yeah, since it's run up already a lot, kind of priced in good earnings. So I definitely be careful with this one as well. EVGO then, interesting last 3 days. On the weekly, we got a really nice rejection, sort of reversal within the week, which made us remain above the 20-week moving average, though with earnings coming up, could be a break below if they're bad. So in this sense, we do see a nice support level here after the terrible run end of year, um, which could serve as some support. So for better earnings, definitely sees fall back to around the 520 area. A good beat, we could definitely be going back up to this area, the 200-day moving average, as we've briefly been above it, but here it was the perfect resistance area. So either to the sevens on a break of that, I could definitely see us coming back to the eights. So this one does have some potential to get a nice move. Also, last earnings we had 22% and the day after 11% up. So it has the possibility to move nicely on earnings. Looking at the options, we do surprisingly see that the calls are not that expensive at all, 35 to 45 cents. If we're expecting a move to 7 or 8, those calls will definitely double, triple, or maybe go times 4, times 5. On the downside, even the 6 is also not that bad. A little bit worse, but still, if we would go back to the 5 area, this will still at least double. So I do think that within EVGO, the options are priced most attractively. Um, and a strangle is definitely of interest here. So yeah, expected moves 7 to 8 on the beat and probably around 520, maybe here to the 510s. If that breaks, yeah, we're gonna be falling all the way back to potentially the threes again. So be careful with that. But yeah, I think options here are priced pretty nicely. Then Rivian earnings after hours on Tuesday. Yeah, what can we say? Terrible move ever since the IPO. It's gone all the way down. Still now, it's not looking good at all. We do kind of see a break of trend here. A very careful one. We did close above the 20-day. We are approaching the 50-day. The weekly, we kind of have a long way to go until the 20 days. So a beat of earnings here could definitely see us at least break the 20-day, potentially get all the way back to the high of April, March, which was around 1580, which is also approximately where the weekly moving average is. So yeah, I mean, a very nice beat could definitely bring us around 15 to 16 area. If we miss, yeah, we're probably going to be falling back to 12, 11, and it's gonna be really bad. So option wise, incredibly expensive. 50 cents still for the 15. For the 16 is 30 cents. That would be a huge move up. On the downside, also still very, very expensive. The 12.50 is still 60 cents. So maybe selling options here would be the more attractive play. But yeah, options really expensive. So of the 4 EV related companies that are reporting earnings, definitely EVGO does seem to be having the most attractive options going into earnings. Um, Given the implied volatility we've seen on the last earnings and also the last few weeks on this stock, definitely worth checking that out. The rest, Lucid, Fisker, yeah, it's a bit tricky, and yeah, I think Rivian is not worth it buying any options, buying any plays there. Um, so good luck with the earnings. Let's see in a few days if we did reach those levels we just discussed. Please keep in mind that this was not financial advice, and please don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video.